seeing them on TV as a kid, and now I'm standing here. Little do you know that tomorrow I'm gonna get that work. Hoco Podcast, episode number 2. We are excited to go. Today we have you. Today we have Jereme Scott in the building. We're excited to have you. We got a couple questions here today, and we're gonna just kind of run through them. So,
alrighty.
Happy to be here. Hey, I love that. There we go. A little energy. Okay. So tell us about yourself. Kind of a little bit where you're from, where you grew up. Who was Jereme Scott in high school?
Jeez, man. I'm from here. I'm from Columbia. I went to Long Reach High School. And in high school, I played 2 sports. Enjoyed myself.
Just 2 sports?
I mean, I ran indoor track, but I really don't count that as like my other sport because it was mainly just to stay busy. But yeah, so it was 3 sports. But
what was your primary sport?
My best sports were baseball and football.
Baseball and football. Did you have one that you liked better than the other?
No. I think being able to play 2 sports was nice because I was able to, play one, be completely about it, and then drop it, and then, put all my energy into something else, which was nice, instead of having to focus on one thing for, the whole year, so.
And what was it? Okay, and you said you went to Long Reach High School. What was it like? I went to Long Reach too. What was it like growing up? Like, what was it like where you grew up? Like, did you grow up playing a lot of sports? Did you grow up playing, was it always baseball, or did you just grow up, what was that like?
We played everything, in terms of...
It doesn't have to be like...
That was a big question.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like organized sports.
Oh, no, played everything. So, rollerbladed and inline skated, skateboard, and I played basketball with my friends, and, if it was anything, it was probably a lot of cross-training,
Mm-hmm.
And I don't mean cross-training in the sense of like you're really training. It was just like a lot of playing a bunch of different sports, games, whatever.
So throughout the season, you were just playing a bunch of different stuff.
Okay, well, see, now you just completely changed where we were going. You said like growing up, so I was thinking more as like a kid. So you're talking about high school season.
Well, high school season, growing up as a young kid, I'm thinking when I was growing up, when we were growing up, it was you ran a little bit of track when it was in the summer. You rollerbladed when the weather was nice, skateboarded when the weather was nice. You played some baseball when baseball was actually in season.
Yeah.
Played a little bit of football. Didn't really matter if we were in season or out of season. Like, that's kind of what I mean. So a better question is actually probably not sports, but like athletics. So your athletic upbringing.
I played baseball and football and did anything, athletic that I guess I was interested in.
Okay.
Like if I'm into it, I'm playing it.
Okay. Was that like that in your neighborhood? Like the kids that were in your neighborhood? Like, did they have the same interests? Did they have the same kind of...
I mean, a few. I mean, when we were like younger, yes, but no. I think the older we got, it was more or less. It was kind of sporadic, but at the same time, like my friends didn't always play the sports that I played.
Sure. Yeah. So you ran with guys that, you guys didn't have all of the same interests.
Right.
People had their own thing that they were interested in.
Yeah, people played basketball, other people, and so for me, I was, one of the few people that played baseball.
Okay. Very cool. Very cool.
And only one of my other friends that was like a really close friend played like football in my neighborhood.
Sure.
So.
Okay. You said baseball was your sport, yeah? And you said baseball was probably your best sport. Did you go and you played it in high school? What position did you play?
Center field.
Could you hit?
Yeah.
But you love playing center field?
Yeah, defense was my game.
Did you play in college?
Yeah, I went to St. Joseph's, as you can tell by the jacket, to play baseball.
And tell us about your experience playing college baseball.
It was a hell of an experience.
Tell us about it.
It had all of the ups and downs, and I don't just mean like, won some big games, lost some big games. I mean, like, if you've ever imagined a low budget program without like funding, this was it.
Okay.
Yeah.
A low, and that I'm sure that was probably a low. So you went to college. Did you like know that it was going to be kind of that was going to be your experience?
No, and here's the thing: nobody would know now. If you went there now, you would never believe what I'm telling you.
Really?
You would never believe that there's probably an 8 to 10 year stretch where it was just like, what the hell is this?
Okay.
How is this a Division I program?
So you played D1?
Yeah.
Okay. And you said so it was a lot of the facilities. So a lot of that stuff has changed in the past couple of years. But you're saying when you were there, it was not that way. Tell us about that. So for anybody that's thinking about playing college athletics, they got their mind set on D1. I guess not all D1s are the same.
No, I would say you really need to go check it out. Like in our travels around and playing, other schools and other conferences and things like that, you see that other schools really have funding, and you realize like where you are on the sort of funding scale, right? And then not only that, we would play like bigger Division II schools and things like that. Sometimes like in the spring and stuff like that, we would go to some tournaments. Mm-hmm. And those schools, you would go, this is Division II school, and they got 3 uniforms, they have a real clubhouse, they have 2 white cleats, blue cleats, and they're playing in a real ballpark, and it's a legit program, and you guys are
So tell us a little bit about what it was like to be at St. Joe and play at St. Joe. You said ballpark, cleats, unis. I mean, this is a FCA, the podcast here. People, this is for athletes. So everything that you're saying, people already understand. Like, okay, he's talking about gear. He's talking about being on the road. So people understand that. So paint us a picture of Division I St. Joe's baseball.
Circa 2000.
Circa 2000, yes.
5, 6. Well, for me and for the guys that I played with, we came in to that program at a very strange time when the coach that recruited my class ended up getting let go the fall that we all came in. So if you guys are going to school, you know that you're going to school in August, and in that August, as you're moving into the dorm,
sure,
the person that recruited you to come play there gets let go, right? So you
sure,
think to yourself, what do I do now?
Sure.
Do I stay here? Do I take a time off? Do I try and, play for whomever this new coach is going to be? So it was just very much, everything was kind of up in the air. So that was the first thing. And then we got a new coach, right? And you have to imagine this is a new coach who's coming into a program that, we weren't a great program at
sure,
the time. We were very much like a up and coming fledgling sort of program. So the coach that came in is coming into a losing program, and he's also not able to pick or recruit any of the players that he has for, on his whole squad. So he's basically being
handed
a team. But then also I think that everybody came into that not knowing, not realizing what they were. I don't even think he realized what he was walking into.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure, like, first time we got kicked off our home field, which was 30 minutes away.
So you guys didn't have a field on campus.
Okay, so look. So we didn't have a field on campus. Okay, so
this will resonate. There are some athletes that are going to be going to schools that their field facilities, some of their facilities are not on campus.
Yeah, and so ours wasn't on campus. It was about 35 minutes away. Like with traffic, on a good day you might get there in 25 minutes. It was a city park field, okay, and it was in Norristown, Pennsylvania. So it's not even in Philadelphia, okay? So all your friends or whatever that you're telling, oh yeah, I'm going to New York to play ball, and then you realize you don't play ball in New York, buddy. You play in some, low budget township. Some township over here that nobody cares about. So so we would drive out to Norristown. There were vans and things, but mostly people would, drive their own cars. So you have to imagine that you got the van showing up at one time, people showing up at one time.
Sure.
5 pitchers showing up, 20. It was so it'd be a mess. And then we start practice. Coach is already mad. Bad field, off campus, people late, nothing you can do about it. And then all of a sudden, here comes a bus. Bishop O'Hare, whatever. They gotta come out here and play their game. So now we gotta.
So this is all.
So we get kicked off the field. So and this happened more than once. And then he has to say, okay, let's go back to campus and practice in the gym. Oh, it's comical to think about now. They gotta make a movie about this because it was that.
Okay. So this will help a lot of students when they start thinking about school facility. If I am going to play in college, I'm looking for a place where the facilities are close to campus. On campus or closer than 30 minutes to campus.
Yeah.
So thank you for telling us that. That paints a great picture.
You said closer than 30 minutes?
Yeah.
You want your field on campus.
So that was circa 2000.
Oh yeah. Okay, so let me tell you, for any of you people that like went to high school and then all of a sudden you left high school and then they turfed your football field, they turfed your game field, they went ahead and put in lights, upgraded the bleachers, everybody got uniforms that fit, snug, beautiful, Under Armour, Nike down, whatever. As soon as you left, right? As soon as you graduated, this is what happens.
You got the gear.
So now my class graduated, and now if you were to go, okay, keep them, all right, also, the coach that came in after the coach that got fired, he ended up leaving, he resigned, okay, after 2.5 years, right? So then we got another coach. So that's 3 coaches.
In 4 years.
In 4 years, okay? So just know that was the program and that was sort of like where we were. But now if you look at it, they've had a coach that's been there, the coach that got hired after the final interim coach when I was there.
Yeah.
He's been there for, I believe, going on, I mean, it might be over 14 years now.
Wow.
Right? So he's been there since then. So that was what, 2008, 9? So whatever, yeah, he's been there almost 15 years, I'm guessing, right? And so now they win the conference, they send people to the league, they have a, brand new turf stadium, in-ground dugouts, locker room with the big hawk on the floor. Everybody got sit-in locker. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. And then you're just like,
that was not my college experience at all.
No.
But don't worry, that was a lot of our college experience for playing ball. That was what you're saying reminds me much more of my experience playing in college than what you just talked about a little bit later. Okay, so we kind of jumped. So college baseball, but I know that you also played some pretty competitive travel club baseball. Can you tell us a little bit about that club and travel team?
Yeah, no. I mean, I think it's a lot different from what kids play now, which in my opinion is more of like showcase baseball.
Yeah.
Right? And with, showcase sports, the sad thing is you get all these really talented players, but instead of people really playing for each other and playing the game to win, it's more like they're playing their own game to win. Like I need to make sure that I score 2 goals. I need to make sure that I have 3 hits, strike out, 8 people. And as long as I do this, we can lose by 10. Doesn't matter. As long as I had a good game, because then,
A lot of selfish.
yeah, well, so-and-so coach saw me. So, I mean, everything has its reason, but I think that when we were playing, it was more of, number one, the team sort of stayed together a lot more. And it was like if you were playing with the team, most of the time you were going to come up with that team for at least the next 3 to 4 years, and then once we got, 16, 17, 18, you stayed with that team for 2 to 3 years or whatever. And then, so it was a lot more like a tight-knit group and camaraderie, and a lot of people had, I don't know, it was much more team-oriented, I think, than it is.
What was the name of the team?
We played for the Reds. Yeah, the Columbia Reds.
Columbia Reds. Columbia Reds was a good program.
Very good program.
What do you think set the Columbia Reds apart from a lot of other programs at that time?
I think we were allowed to play our game and kind of like do our thing. And when I say that, I mean that, our coaches never tried to overcoach. And that doesn't mean that like, oh, he told me to bunt and I didn't want to bunt. No, I mean like he didn't try and rein in his guys, cut your facial hair.
Yeah.
Sit down, don't you say that. No, it wasn't none of that.
Right.
It was like, I'm gonna get you if you start, blowing plays and acting an ass. But as long as you are playing the game and we're doing what we're supposed to do, we could have the time of our life out there, and we did. So that was I think that.
So one of the best things I remember about the Reds was that, and there were times. I think the thing that you said was they let us play our game. There were times where I try to say this to my players now, but I don't think they understand what I'm saying. But like when you go out there and you got a game at 1 o'clock, and you have to be somewhere at 3:30, and it's like, all right, fellas, come on, let's get out here, get a W real quick,
and let's get it going.
Because we got to go somewhere.
I got things to do. Yeah.
I got things to do today. I'm gonna try to beat them up real quick, and then I got to go catch a shower and go to a movie or something. Yeah. Okay, let's talk about some of the highs and lows.
I think that's the real thing you want to hear.
I want to hear some highs and lows. I do, and I think it'd benefit a lot of other people to hear highs and lows.
Yeah, because I think it's the realest thing. It's going to happen to just about at least 60 to 70% of them are going to have lows. Okay. Are going to experience the lows. It's not going to be, just highs. And so if you think that, having, a bad facility or a lot of crazy things happening with your, coaching staff or whatever are bad, I think that when it comes down to playing the game, and you realize that like I'm unprepared,
Yeah.
that you are, and I will say this, that like if you are going somewhere, you want to make sure that wherever you're going, whether it's a big school, small school, that they have the capacity to help you learn more, to get better, right? So, like, we came in and everybody was like, fighting for a spot and trying to do their best. But at that point, you're playing your, 18-year-old game of what you've known, right? And trying to do it as best you can.
Sure.
Okay. But at a certain point, it turns over and it's like, okay, you need to step up now to the 20-year-old game, because this is,
18-year-olds aren't even
18-year-olds aren't playing.
Sure.
They're, redshirting, they're sitting the bench, that game. You need to step it up to the 20-year-old game, which is like, hey, the juniors and seniors and things like that. And in order to do that, you need to be being taught some things about like that level and how to get to that level. And if there's nobody at that school that is literally coaching you up and getting you ready for that, you're gonna step up to the stage and you're gonna be just like,
it's too much.
You'll be okay for a second, you'll be okay for a couple games, and then all of a sudden it's like,
give us a story.
So I just know that like as a freshman, I had the opportunity to start, right? But keep in mind, like I said, as in our fall, everybody's coming there trying to make a team for a brand new coach, right?
Yep.
And I'm a go hard person when it comes to just like playing the game. Like, I'm just gonna play it as hard as I can all the time. Lay out for balls in practice all day, not a second thought. So for me to like play my game against my teammates in fall ball and this, that, or the other, where basically we're just inter squatting and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Okay. Not only that, you can get used to those people, right? And there's only so many, super elite people on every team. Right. So when you split everybody up on inter squad, everything seems pretty even, right? But when you go ahead and you step up to the plate against, Florida State, and you're like, whoa. Not only was I not prepared, right? And when I say not prepared, I mean like it's not so much your game. It's like my mind is not ready.
So
I was
more
not
mindset.
ready. It's all mindset, because you go from being like, oh, we're gonna practice in the gym. Literally, in the gym, it's cold, right? You're in Philadelphia, it's cold, okay?
Sure.
And so you're gonna start your season and they're gonna say, all right, now I think it's like February 2nd or something like this is when your first game, which means you're gonna practice from the time you get back from winter break until you leave. Wherever you have an opportunity to, right? They'll be like, hey, we're gonna go out and long toss in the parking lot. Hey, let's go down here on the turf field and we're gonna take some ground balls, some fly balls off the bat, wherever you can get it in, right?
Sure.
So most of the time, we're hitting inside, right? They're, hey, step in here, get a live AB in the cage. Absolutely not. Who does any good in that, right? So then it's like, can't wait till we go February 23rd to play Florida State.
Right. You guys are coming.
And you're like, we're opening up, and so at this time,
with an ACC powerhouse.
Yeah, and of course, what you don't know is that,
Was Buster Posey there?
I don't know. All I know is when you go to play these teams are having you on the schedule because they're going to beat your brain in. And when I say that, I don't mean that they have you on the schedule because like, oh, they're a pretty good team from up north, going to give us some good. No, they don't want any early work. They're going to pad their schedule a little bit. They're going to start to get their confidence just straight rolling. Okay.
Confidence. Okay.
They're going to get their W's in wherever they can get them, right? And this is what people also don't know. They pay that bad little team. They're paying you to come down, right? We're like, hey, I don't know if we can make it. We really don't have it in the budget. They're like, it's cool. We got all your hotel rooms. Come on down. Get this work.
Wow.
Okay, and this is real, right? We got it. We got your bus fare. We got your hotel rooms. Come on down.
That's something
and get this work.
Yeah, that's something that that'll blow some minds.
Okay, so when you start to realize like they're not gonna give us a game. They're gonna just like shove it on us, and it's gonna be an issue. So you go down there, right? We don't have a stadium, let alone a field on campus, right? So you go down there, you get into the nice weather. You're happy just to be in the nice weather. Oh man, can't believe we're throwing in short sleeves, right? And then all of a sudden, hey guys, we're gonna just go out, walk on the field just to get, lay of the land. Don't run on the dirt. This is what they're telling us, right? The night before.
This is at Florida State.
This is at Florida State. Okay, we just got down there. We have not been outside yet. Go ahead. Go walk out in the field. Stay off the dirt. You ain't gonna take a real practice. You could throw in the outfield.
Sure.
You could stand all up in here, right?
Sure.
And looking, okay.
Yeah.
And just be in awe, okay, of it all. All right. And you're like, I've seen them on TV as a kid, and now I'm standing here. Little do you know that tomorrow I'm gonna get that work.
Okay, so take us to that day. Take us to that day when you.
Okay. Ready?
Yes.
And this is the thing, okay? You've been a kid thinking about, oh man, I'm gonna make it to college and play ball. D1. This is what you're telling everybody, right? This is what you're telling yourself as a kid.
Sure.
Right?
What you're telling yourself.
And now you're like, whoa, I actually made it to college, D1 to play ball. And now I'm really here. I'm really about to play against this team who is like,
I grew up watching on TV.
Grew up watching on TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so then I actually got an opportunity to start. And the thing is this, right?
So
our
you're
coach playing
So
these
you
games.
started at Florida. You
Yeah.
started against Florida State.
Yeah, but our coach would. You can call it play games. Nobody knew if they were gonna start. We were like, "Yo, I'm in." Like, yo, this is it. Holy shit! Let me go get it together. I'm gonna go hit the warning track and give it a run and get my legs loose. Oh man, right? So everybody's like, I'm starting. Oh, whoa, oh, I'm playing. Hey, you playing? Yo, okay. So now you're like, damn, got me leading off, right? Now batting, number 20, Jereme Scott, right? And you're like, they just called my name. They just called my name at Florida State, right? Boom, scoreboard, big jumbotron, got you up there, right? Luckily, no stats yet. Luckily, right? But here's the other thing. They're going to throw all your stuff up there. Hometown, big picture, okay? Batting average.
Sure.
Percentage, all this type of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So you're just like in awe. Holy shit. Look at the fans, right? And they're booing. There are people, they're like, and their fans are, I've never had any fans to the game. We had a couple parents and stuff that come to the games. No. This is like your first real opportunity.
And you are out on the field.
And because you have no clue about this, right?
Sure.
And unless you're somebody that came from a place where like your sport is big, and I've been in these situations often, you're like, nobody told me.
And so what was that like? So give us the play-by-play for that first. Give us the play-by-play of that either first at bat or that first inning, because I remember there was a guy.
I got a hit. I don't know if it was my first at bat or second at bat. I think I blew the first at bat. I think I struck out, but I wasn't mad because I went down swinging, and I was just like, hey, it is what it is. But I know I think I took the first pitch, and then all I know is that I got a hit. And I think it was like 1 for 3 with this little dying, little flare over second. And I was just like, whew, all right.
That reminds me of, we played a team called Marietta when I was in college. And Marietta was an NAIA school, I believe, notoriously ranked. And we were like, we're going to Ohio, we're going to play Marietta. Great. And the kid that started against us ended up getting drafted by the Yankees. And he carved us up like turkey all day long,
Yeah.
just carving us up.
And see, and with that, they were getting their work in.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So they're like, we're gonna throw 2, 3, maybe 4. Everybody, we're going to get our work in. We're just going to, So you were facing, we're going to face a number 1 for an inning or 2, you know. And then they're going to bring their closer in to
and
get his work in. Yeah, so you end up facing all the good people, right? And then for me, it wasn't even that. Okay, this is what shocked me. What's my guy's name? Shane Robinson. Mm-hmm. Okay. We played against him, or he was on the team. He was their leadoff guy, right?
Shane Robinson was Florida State's leadoff guy.
Was Florida State's leadoff, right?
Excuse me. Yeah.
And so I just remember I'm out here in center, right? We just went down. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Done. Tired side. We out there in the outfield thinking we're out there in the field thinking we gotta. Okay, hey, we're gonna throw the gloves at him. No, you're not. So we're out here, right? And my man comes up, right? Swaggy P, boom, boom, boom. Walked him, right? Pitcher couldn't get I don't even think he got I don't even think he swung.
Sure.
Right? I think he just stood up.
4 straight.
He just walked him, right? And I'm like, it's okay. No, it's not, okay? My man's like, walks off, pop. I'm like, first pitch. He didn't even wait to get a read on the pitcher. Didn't even take a pitch. My man just took off. Boom. Slides in, pops up, ball comes down. I'm like, he was so safe. He was so safe I was embarrassed for our catcher. Okay. And then I'm like, all right, okay, boom. Ball. There he goes again. Took off. Second pitch, took off. 2 pitches, my man is on third. Walk, 2 pitches, he's on third.
This is not good.
And both
this
times,
is not good.
He didn't overextend him. He didn't slide in, helmet off.
Sure.
No. He was smooth, bow, pop up, each time just safe as can be, right? Number 2 batter. Next pitch, in the dirt, goes to the backstop, he just walks home. And I'm like, oh, they're up 1-0 with no outs. We on the second batter. My man just walked around the bases and scored. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is gonna be a long day. So that's what I remember.
Okay.
That is what I remember.
That's a good story. That's a good and you said the biggest thing was they had a lot of confidence coming into that game because you guys had 0 confidence going into that game because you were coming out of the cold. Mindset was everything. Mindset
is everything.
You guys were happy to put short sleeves on.
Yes. We were happy to be in our short sleeves. I mean, I can tell you that we had, I think one of the best games we ever played was against Boston College.
Okay.
And this was during spring break, right? Mm-hmm. So we had a little bit of time. We had been, playing for about a month or so, or whatever. And I think one of our pitchers just pitched the game of his life.
Sure.
And keep in mind though, Boston College is a northern school, mm-hmm. right? So we were probably I don't even want to say that we were comparable to Boston College, right? But we were much more had a shot at playing a decent game.
Sure.
I think against them than the down south schools that we would go to play.
What was the biggest difference between some of the northern schools and the southern schools? Or just playing in the north and then playing in the south?
I mean, I think the big thing is that you get to play all the time. I think that's really it. If you're in a warm place, you get to play all the time.
Warm climate, you play all day long.
Not only play, but you get to work all the time. And if you want to get I want to get some live, ground balls, fly balls. It's not hard for you to get outside, get onto the field, whatever. But when you are,
and this is baseball specific because there are some school like Michigan that does it for football.
Oh, right. I mean, well, that's what I mean is that there are certain things where it is, you can play it regardless, you know, and they're gonna play it regardless. Whereas, they're gonna play it in the rain, you know?
Yep.
So you just take the weather with what it is, but when it is literally it's snow, it's ice on the ground. We can't get on the field. So I think that is another.
That's
big. It's a big difference, and so.
So you were also an art major while you were in school. So you're an athlete. You obviously you have to be a student as well, and you were an art major. So can you talk a little bit about like what was that like? I mean, it's an interesting combination. Were you always interested in art? Were you?
Yeah, but I switched to being an art major because of sports.
Talk about that.
So when I got to school, I wanted to do advertising. They didn't have advertising, they only had marketing, right? So I was a marketing major, but in order to be a marketing major, you had to do, like, you were in the business administrative, like, business track, right? So the business track is like, oh, you're gonna take, calculus and, trigonometry type things and accounting, and then you're also gonna have to take economics, and I'm like, okay, so I took a Spanish class. I think I took finite math and business applications, which I didn't understand the drop withdrawal, so I had to take a W on that one. You guys will learn about that. And then I had one art class, right? And I've always taken art classes in school, right? Like, and I was always good at them, and I've always, enjoyed them, right? They were an easy A. So for me, taking an art class was like a way for me to bring my GPA up my first semester. And so took the art class, got an A, withdrew from, the finite math. I think I got like a C in accounting, and I don't know. I think I got a
It's okay. It's old. It's
B in Spanish. Something, I don't know, something like that.
Sure.
And in the end, and I think I had a writing class that I did okay on or something. But
you chose art.
yeah, so because it was all this type of stuff, I had to change my major so that I could maintain the GPA necessary to play.
Got it. Okay.
And it ended up being a great change.
Yeah, because you are an outstanding artist.
Yeah, thank you.
People comment on it. So you obviously saw a connection between art and sports.
No.
You didn't see a connection between art and sports.
In terms of?
Your connection between art and sports was, I got to play, I got to get this art class. And that turned out to be the best decision that you ever made. Hey, sometimes the best decisions that you ever make are...
I mean, I'm not mad about it at all.
Yeah.
It was what was, necessary at the time, but really it ended up being...
Sure. How did you manage your time on the field and off the field? That's something
I would schedule all my classes in the morning.
You had class every day? Probably.
Yeah. Because if not, because you have to set it up so that you can travel on some days. So yeah, I think so. I think I had class every day. So I would have class in the morning until like 10 or 11 maybe on some days. So it'd be one class one day, maybe two another day, and then I would have an art class one day a week. But yeah, no, so I would go class in the morning, go to the gym, go eat lunch, and done for the day. Then I go to practice, and then I'd hang out, and then around 2 o'clock, go to practice, done for the day, and go to dinner.
Was it easy or was it difficult really managing time or anything?
It was great. It was easy. It was very easy, and I think the structure of having to go to practice, and here's the thing, because you're an athlete, you get priority on the classes you select. So I never understood people being like, I go to 6 to 9. Why? Why'd you do that?
Yeah.
Why don't you just do the, 8:30 to 9:30, get that thing out the way? So you get earlier time, an earlier slot to register for your classes.
Sure.
So you can get the better option.
Okay.
So I would always get the early classes. That way my day was done super early. And so, it really worked out.
Did you ever consider like quitting to focus more on your degree, or
No.
not ever?
To focus on my degree?
To focus on art or, getting out of school or?
No.
Okay. That's pretty good.
What?
I hear a lot about students. I hear a lot of students nowadays that think about, well, this is too difficult. I'm going to just stop.
What is too difficult?
Managing both. Managing being an athlete and a student at the same time.
No, you know what it is?
On campus.
This is what it is. It's not managing. They're not playing.
Ah.
They're not playing. And I was there, right? And that was like a huge low, right? But I ain't gonna quit.
Sure. Yeah. What was that? And so talk about what's that like to be, you went there to play. It's a sport you played
buddy.
your entire career.
Hey, and you want to know something? One of the best things was the fact that I changed my major, gave me something else to focus on, and it gave me something else to, be good at.
Sure.
The thing that was frustrating was that at a certain point, right, like what'll happen, right, and this happens on every team, is that someone isn't going to get the chance to play, not because they're not good enough. It's just going to be, the coach's decision, wrong time. You're playing behind somebody, and you're just going to be, somebody gets hot and you have to sit behind them, and then all of a sudden they catch fire. And so there's a whole different slew of ways that you can end up, sitting the bench with no real fault to your own, and a lot of the time what you'll find out is that, like, damn, coach just isn't going to give me a shot because he's going to give this person a shot.
Sure.
And there's nothing you can do about it. So for me, I had good friends on there, right, and I enjoyed my time with those guys. I love playing baseball, so for me, practice became my time. That only time I'm getting to play right now. So guess what?
Make the most
I'm
out
gonna
of
be
it.
Rudy out here. Okay, I'm gonna be practice all-star.
Sure.
Okay, and guess what? If he still doesn't want to play me after seeing how hard I'm working,
Tremendous
and how much,
effort.
all the effort, then what can you do? You could quit, absolutely, or So I don't blame anybody for quitting, especially if, like, I hate the guys on my team,
Sure.
this place sucks.
Right.
All this. I don't blame anybody for it, but yeah, no.
Okay. Did you get a chance to play baseball? Okay, so there was a season where you weren't playing. Mm-hmm. Was there another time that came back around that you were playing again? And if there was, talk about that. I'm thinking about the story that you told me at dinner one night about the Bulls.
Okay, hold on. So are you asking about college? Or are you saying just like in life?
Just playing in life. Yeah.
Yeah, no. So went to school, played,
There's
stopped
plenty
playing.
of lacrosse. I think there's plenty of lacrosse players that are going to be listening to this that are like, yeah, I play for Kelsey's, or yeah, I play for Green Turtle. Mm-hmm. Like continuing to play.
Yeah, well, see, I mean, even now, I think that, like, I'm always trying to take up a new sport, rec sport, whatever it is, right? And the cool thing about being, I think, in this area is that there are a lot of people that are older, around, in their late 20s, early 30s.
Sure.
Some people even in their 40s and stuff that are still got the bug, still can do it, and did go to school to play, right? And they're like,
I'm still antsy to play.
I'm still out here playing in the football league. Yeah, playing in the soccer league. Oh, I still go out. I don't know about the older baseball league around here in terms of like adult sort of recreational league, but there was the Baltimore baseball league when I got out of college, and ended up playing there, and it was with a group of guys that all had played ball in school, and everybody was legit. everybody knew what it was, and it was like playing back with the Reds again.
Sure.
In terms of we would, beat up on teams, play great baseball.
Sure.
Great baseball. And then
Probably have a great time with each other.
and have an awesome time.
That's good. When I was so I played on a summer ball team when I was living in West Virginia over the summer, and I played for a team called the Beckley Bash, and it was same deal. It was, except I was still in school, so it was. We had in our picture we had like 13 guys, 14 guys on the team. A pitcher would come in from, he'd drive in on a day that it was his day to pitch, and then we wouldn't see him again until it was his day to pitch again. We were like, cool, bro. Like, you're good. You're cool with us. But, great group of guys. We played hard, and we had a lot of fun off the field. It was hard. We were going at it in both areas. So it was a ton of fun. So I know what you're talking about, but that camaraderie of that feeling of like, I'm with a group of guys, we're winning, and not just winning. It's like, it's a different feeling when you step out on the field and you're like, I got somewhere to be in 3.5 hours. Like, we got to be out of here.
The thing that's nice is when you play with people that know how to win.
Yes.
And they care about winning.
Yes.
Not about the stat, not about how they did, but they just want to win. And like, you never end up losing that. And I think that's the real cool thing, is that you see people who are like, they're just as competitive in, the flag league as they are, if it were a collegiate game. So.
Sure. Yeah. You said you're still living that active lifestyle today.
Yeah.
Rec sports, and talk about that a little bit. Like, what are you playing right now? And then like a little bit of that active lifestyle. Where'd that come from? Was that something that your parents did? Is that something that?
Oh no, man. I don't know. I can't imagine not being. You don't use it, you'll lose it.
Yeah.
So like, no, I'm doing everything from last winter I played basketball.
Yeah.
Played soccer last year. Plan on doing both again if COVID or whatever is allowed to do indoor activities and stuff like that, and then play a lot of golf.
Yes.
Play football. Play the flag league.
Very, very. Are you still swimming?
No.
Very active.
Yeah.
Very active. So one of the things I know that you've done is you've coached a lot of years of baseball. You and I both worked for a company together. We worked for the baseball factory for a couple of years. But I know that you've coached a team and I've coached a team. What do you see as far as like athletes today? Maybe some of the things that are good for them, but some of the things that are going to hurt them. Is there anything in today's young athletes that you could see that could hurt them in the future? Or
I think they play too much of the same sport, and they burn out. They burn out young too.
This is controversial. People are like, you got to specialize.
Specialize all you want, okay? There's a reason for cross training, right? Like, you work different muscles, you start to work different hand-eye coordination, you get better footwork by doing different things, right? So I think that like you keep a kid in a sport too long and always working at it, and all, that after a while it becomes work. It's no longer fun, right? Like, if that's all they want to do, that's fine.
Sure.
Right? And there are a couple people I know that are like that, but
they've got that intrinsic motivation and they found this thing, and it's like,
and they always want to do
this
that
is all
one
I,
thing,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
But if they ever said, I'm thinking about playing football next year. Now, of course, well, that's a controversial one for all the CTE.
Right.
But, if they said, I want to try soccer, or I want to do, something, whatever, cross country, who cares, whatever.
Sure.
Like, I would say, go do it, especially like, go do it. It will help with your sport. You'll stay in shape, and, you'll definitely get something out of it. I think with that, it's like if you were to say, hey, you know, like I would tell people to work in different mediums if you were going to do art and stuff like that, just so that, you know, they both go hand in hand, and what you learn here, you can apply it here. So
that's good. That's good. And then just thinking about like some advice that you would give to juniors and seniors that want to play in college. They're like, Coach, I really want to play in college. I really want to play in college. Like, what do I need to do? What do I need to know? Give me some advice.
that I should say to the juniors and seniors?
Yeah.
Honestly?
Yeah.
You're a little late, bro.
Why do you say that?
A little late, I want to play. Oh, you're a little late, buddy.
Why do you say that?
Because that like I said before, people that end up playing in college have been like, I'm playing college.
Right. Focused.
Since you were 12 or whatever, you know, before you were in high school, you're like, I'm going to play in college. I'm going to go to college to play this sport, right? You don't just like, I've been thinking next season, I'm going to try and go to, no, buddy. So what I would say is if you are serious about it, then you should look at a school, go see the school, go look at the facility. You don't even have to go, yeah, but the coach, don't worry about the coach. And here's the thing, you want to go to a place where if it doesn't work out, you still like the place you're at.
Sure.
Right? So, and that doesn't, but then also you need to be realistic, right? Like if you're like, oh, I've always wanted to go to USC, it's so beautiful. Are you going to play for USC though?
Sure.
Are you going to make like
some realistic?
Just be realistic with yourself, right?
Sure.
Like maybe it's not USC, but maybe it's UMBC.
Sure.
Okay. All right. And that's not to say anything. I'm just saying there's a different level of play in all these different places, right? And you can go like a high D1, you can go to a small poopy D1, you can go to an up and coming one, you can go to a really good D2, you can go to an awesome D3 that you pay your whole way, but you are a god on campus.
Okay.
You are living the life, okay? At a real school, feels like a real school, big campus, people come to the games.
Sure.
They call my name out in the calf.
Right.
You can find all this type of stuff, right? So
Yeah,
you should just look for it.
What do you think about college athletes being paid now? With the name, image, likeness. College athletes can make money on their name, image, likeness. What do you think about that?
I think it's awesome.
Okay.
I mean, I think that's good. But I think that they're going to try and do something to like, you know how like YouTube, you need to get enough views to make some money?
Sure.
I feel like they're going to do something like that.
So you think
I wish they just paid them straight out.
Right, you think it's not going to be a straight name, image, likeness, you're good.
What they should do is have a base pay, just like you do like a league minimum.
Okay.
Right? And then, and have it like being during the season. Like we would get paid.
Per diem.
Per diem. That per diem goes everywhere.
Okay.
Might buy you into the poker game. might get you some shoes. Might get you a Chipotle sandwich. Get you a lot of things.
That's funny. People talk. It's a thing that people talk about. Should athletes make money while they're playing in college?
Yeah. I'm out here hurting myself for you, And you could say, yeah, it's for me too. It's like, yeah, but if we do the damn thing, it's gonna do a lot more for you. And the way I always think about it, coach is gonna get a raise.
Sure.
He does good. Coach is gonna get an extended contract. Coach might get a house on campus that he doesn't have to pay for. Might get a whole lot of perks, right? Meanwhile, you're like, per diem. Thanks, coach.
For this 25.
Thanks for $25.
Right. We're on the road for another 3 days.
Yeah, great. What am I gonna do with this?
Yeah. I know you coached. I know you've coached younger players too. Is that fulfilling? Is that as far as you as a coach, Jereme as a coach, what's the fulfilling part of coaching young players?
To teach them how to win and get them like excited about winning. Like kids will, the thing about young kids is that they are impressionable in a very good way. Like they don't know what they don't know, right? So with that, like sometimes, right, like with the team that I coached for a number of years, they were typically a bad team.
Okay.
Right? Like nobody was worried about playing them.
Sure.
You know, we're gonna play them. We're gonna beat up on them. We're gonna get out of here. You know, everybody else thought about us. Okay, so they weren't that good, and because of that, they believed that they weren't that good, right? And like kind of like a bad news bears, right? And so in teaching them some things, but actually like teaching them not only how to play the game, but like how to hit, how to properly field the ball, catch, and teaching them higher level sort of
skills,
but also situational sort of things, right? So
how to think.
So even though you're young, you know, and I like to teach or coach the kids like 10 to 14, right? But honestly, 14, we're cutting that hard right there. I really don't want you anymore because now you think you know too much. You're too cool. You think you know too much TikTok, too many girls in your life now. Everybody got jokes. I don't got time, right? But for the younger kids, they just want to be good, right? So like if you start to teach them how, like, look, if you do this, you'll be a step faster.
Sure.
And if you run, and then at the last second extend your arm, you're gonna get to that ball instead of running like a goof, like, you know. And slowly, all these little things, they're like, wow, he actually knows what he's talking about. And so they buy in, they believe, and then before you know it, you got, you know, your number 10 batter winning games. Why?
Sure.
Because you got him believing. And so, for instance, had a kid on my team was not the kid that you would get that you go, all right, we're gonna have to figure out something to do with him, right? So all of a sudden, close game, and this is the other thing. It's like, hey guys, all of you will have the opportunity to win the game.
Right.
I'm going to be relying on every one of you at some point. You're going to be the guy that's up there with a man in scoring position, right? Or 2 outs, and you got to make a play, or you got to strike him out, or you got to throw him out. You're going to be the guy to win the game, right?
Yeah. Responsibility.
Right. And the thing is that like it helps them because they trust you. And the fact that you're like, I trust you and I believe in you and you have to get this done for us. They're like, oh, well, now I trust me, right? And a lot of time they're like, I'm a loser. Even my dad thinks I'm a loser.
Right.
Right? There are times I'd be like, we're going with them. And I would see parents like, their own children. They would be like, oh my God, I gotta get off the stand. I gotta take a few steps back. Right. Come on! Oh God, he's gonna blow it, right? But all of a sudden, what does he do? Little meatball comes in, bow, hook, strikeout, layout, ground ball. Let's get out of here, right? So it's like, and then they're like, you got everything out of these kids. Like I didn't believe in my own child.
Sure.
But you did, and somehow now
you got it out of him.
He's not the same kid anymore.
Jereme Scott, brother, thanks for coming in tonight.
Pleasure. Thanks for the kombucha.
Absolutely. This is the Hoco Podcast, episode 2 with Jereme Scott.